Good evening, everyone. I'm Kay Donaldson, Director of the Alabama Bass Trail Tournament Series, and this meeting should serve as your official pre-tournament meeting for the fifth and final stop of the Alabama Bass Trail South Division on Lake Eufaula. Um, this is, as I mentioned, the fifth and final stop. A lot of decisions will be made as we get to Lake Eufaula. But first of all, we would like to send out a huge thank you to the Eufaula Barber County Chamber of Commerce for being our host this week, as well as the City of Eufaula, Mayor Jack Tibbs, and Lake Point State Park. That will be the official check-in, boat check, blast-off, and weigh-in location for this week's tournament. Also would like to start by recognizing our winners from our past event, which was at Lay Lake back on May 14th, Chris Rutland and Kobe Carden. They won. They're currently sitting third in the points. Also, your AmFirst winner, your $1,000 highest finisher AmFirst winner is Nick Harris. Wadowee Marine, $1,000 highest finisher was Noah and Cole Godwin. And then your $500 Garmin highest finisher at Lay Lake was CJ Knight. So those are the guys who we recognized on the stage at Lay Lake just about a month ago, almost a month ago. So I do want to talk a little bit about the points before we get started. As you know, the top 75 in points move on to the Alabama Bass Trail Championship. We also let the 5 winners go in. And as of right now, it looks like there is 4 double qualifiers in there. So we would go down to 79th place. In the event there is a tie for 79th place, we would then take the overall weight winner who has the heaviest weight over the whole year, and that person would take that spot. Very similar to the top 9. If you are in the top 9 or tied for the 9th position there, we would take the overall weight for that year and add it up, and whichever team has the heaviest weight for that year would get that position to go to the Bassmaster Team Championship. Just want to remind you, no one under the age of 16 can attend that tournament or be a participant in that tournament, as well as no single person teams can be in the Bassmaster Team Championship. Moving on to your top 9, they've led all year long. Rob Lee, Steve Winslet, they started off at Logan Martin. They've had a phenomenal year. Number 2, in second place, they won on the Alabama River, Brian Stifler and Wesley Gore. Number 3 would be your winners at Lay Lake, Chris Rutland and Kobe Carden. Number 4, Foster Bradley and Nick Harris. Your 5th place team of Josh Chappell and Paul Davis. 6th place team, Clay Harris and Joe Williams. 7th place, Douglas Stevens and Jacob Wood. 8th place, Adam Bain and Chris Colley. And your 9th place team currently is John Pollard and Dallas Weldon. Some of those guys have been to the Bass Team Championship before, but if you have not and you finish in the top 9, if you would hang around, I'll give you as much information as I have at this point, and the dates and things like that, where you might need to go to book reservations and things like that. Again, 75 teams go on to our championship. It is a no entry fee championship. We will notify you via email if you have made the championship and ask that you confirm with us that you will be attending. That will be on Lake Jordan later on in October. So just to kind of give you an idea on that and how things work. We used to do a big mail out. Sometimes it gets to you, sometimes it doesn't. So we've just chosen to make sure that we send it out via email. It helps with time and helps with preparation by doing that. Now on to Lake Eufaula. As you know, if you have watched the weather at all or any news source, you realize this week is going to be extremely hot with conditions reaching of 107 to 110 heat index. So I want to remind you to please start hydrating now. Please don't wait till Friday and think that you'll be completely hydrated enough to get through an 8 or 9 hour fishing day on Saturday. Please make sure that you have plenty of water, Gatorade, anything in your possession that you can stay hydrated throughout the day. That's going to be extremely important, not only for you, but also for your fish. So make sure that you're prepared with your fish care products, your G-Juice and things like that. Scott is going to go into that a little bit more when he comes on, but I do want to remind you to be mindful of that. We did have several people present dead fish at Lake Gunnersville this past weekend, so we want to make sure that we keep those down as much as possible. A great idea is to use frozen bottles of water. You don't actually get the chlorine in your water, but you still get the coolness of the ice, so you may want to think about freezing 4 or 5 of those to carry along in your boat as well. Also at the state park, I believe you do have a fee at the state park that you are required to pay for during practice and during the tournament. I believe that fee is $4. It may have gone up, but I believe the last time we were there, it was $4. They do have an automated machine there that you can pay, and it will give you a ticket. And I do believe you can prepay on that machine for Saturday. So please try to do that so you don't hold up the line when you come through on Saturday morning. But you are responsible for taking care of your launch fee on practice days and on tournament days. Also, something that has become very kind of a annoyance there at Lake Eufaula is the alligators that reside within the marina basin. We've been told several times they've taken the chute out where you would normally send the fish down after you weigh in. The Alabama Bass Trail doesn't use that, but other tournament trails have in the past. They've taken that chute out, and so those gators are no longer being fed on a routine basis. So they are becoming to get a little more aggressive. They may rub up beside your boat. I just want to make sure that you understand. Please don't harm the gators unless they try to enter your boat, but please make sure that that you are aware that there are a number of gators that locate themselves inside that marina basin. Make sure that you're being careful at all times. Sometimes you get on the water before it gets daylight, and we want to make sure that you are being uber safe when you're inside that river basin, inside that marina basin. We will not be releasing fish there inside the marina basin. We never do, but just FYI, we will not be releasing fish there. Also, anyone inside the top 9 will be moving on from that. Also, this is not a trailered weigh-in. Please do not trailer your boat before you weigh your fish in. This is not a trailered weigh-in. I don't know how many times we would have to say that, but please, this is not a trailered weigh-in. Also, moving on, we are going to be shooting TV as well as live coverage on the water on Saturday. I want to remind you the top 9 endpoints will receive a camera and a tracking device. These must be placed in your boat and left in your boat for the entirety of the day and returned when you come to the bump sink. It is not to be left in your truck. It is not to be turned off. Any tampering or disabling these devices will end in an immediate disqualification. We will send out a text to all the others that will have tracking devices and cameras on Friday. But if you are in the top 9, you can rest assured you will have a camera and a tracking device in your boat on Saturday. Also, something that came up a couple weeks ago, I want to remind you that as a tournament angler in the Alabama Bass Trail event on Lake Eufaula, you are not allowed to watch ABT live as we are shooting it the first 5 or 6 hours of the day. So please do not turn on Facebook and watch Alabama Bass Trail Live. That is receiving information, that is using your cell phone to communicate fishing information, and it is a reason for disqualification. Along with that, you're not allowed to watch the weigh-in. You can watch the live leaderboard, but you're not allowed to watch live weigh-in as they are talking. Earlier flights are talking about where they caught fish, how they caught fish, and so on. So do not get on live during the tournament. I prefer you not to get on live during blast off. If you would like to post photos and all of that, that's fine, but you are not allowed to watch live or the weigh-in while you are in the tournament. So once you check in and your fish have been weighed, you're welcome to tune in at that point. But until then, it is a disqualification. So please do not turn into ABT Live or to the ABT Live weigh-in at 2 o'clock. So those are some things that we felt we needed to cover. If you have any questions or comments, please post those inside the comment section. Scott and I will try to address those now, or if you have any later, we'll try to address those during business hours tomorrow. We will be on site sometime Thursday for sure. I may actually be down a little bit earlier depending on some meetings that I've got set up, but we will be down on Thursday for sure. But we are always here to answer your questions. You're welcome to text us, call us, email us, or post in the comments here. We're going to go ahead and bring Scott in and let him cover the logistics. I will keep my microphone hot in case I need to jump in and answer anything. But right now, Mr. Scott, take it away.
Thank you, Ms. Kay. All right, everyone. We'll get started with our slide presentation and burn through this quickly as we can. As always, here's Chris's number. Everybody's probably got it in your phone already. If you don't, please do so. If you'd like to request a camera and you aren't already assigned one, this will be who you need to talk to. Chris is in charge of making all of our TV look good, so he will be our communication on that side of our program. 901-493-0437. As always, I'm going to read our protest rule verbatim from your rule sheet. Protests must be made in writing within 15 minutes of the official closing of scales at each tournament, and any written protest must be provided to the tournament director in writing within said time period. If a protest is not made in writing within the required 15-minute time period, the contestant waives his or her right to submit a written protest. Next slide. All right, guys, welcome to Lake Eufaula. We're going to do our boat check starting at 2:15 a.m. We'll check in by water at the flashing lights as always. Kevin will have your fobs down on the dock there. You'll see a red triangle flashing light, and that's where you'll go if you're coming by water. Safety first. Anytime your big motor is running, you must be wearing your PFD, even in practice. And when running any gear, the kill switch tethers are to be worn. Please follow all posted water control signs and buoys. As always, PFDs are required at the dams. We're going to blast off at 5:15. That's what time we went this week at Gunnersville. It was perfect. Barring any unforeseen circumstances with weather, 5:15 or safe daylight should be our target time for blast off. The first flight will be due in at 2 p.m. And as Ms. Kay touched on earlier, this will not be a trailered event. There is plenty of dock space at Eufaula. We are 14 inches on largemouth and spotted bass this week here at Eufaula. All right, you'll see right here on your logistics map, as you're coming in right there, we'll be set up just like we have in the past. We touched on water boat check right there on the center dock, red flashing lights. We'll do our blast off and check-in boat right outside the little, it's about a 3-lane deal there coming into the Marina Basin. We'll be just outside there with our blast off boat. Should be a pontoon boat. And again, we'll idle out quickly as we can. And as soon as we pass the blast off boat, then of course you can get on plane. Please do not get on plane until you are past our blast off boat. Boat check will be set up right there in the front. You'll see it. We're working on trying to get some lighting in the parking lot. So we have plenty of light. So our guys will be parking you where we need you. You guys have been doing a really good job for the most part. After boat check, you'll get directions on where you're going, and our guys will get you put in the water as quickly as possible. We went really smooth this past week at Goose Pond. Things went really well with our blast off, and as long as you guys are following directions of our workers and getting where we need to be, we'll get you in the water as quickly as possible. Again, if you are fishing solo or have a partner who's not comfortable backing the boat, let those guys know at boat check when they're checking your live wells and tying on the ribbon. They'll radio to the ramp, and we'll get you some help backing in. Again, one more time, this is not a trailered weigh-in. All right. Here's my number. Everybody's got it, I'm sure, 256-309-9852. If there's an emergency situation while you're on the water, always call 911 first, and then only when safe to do so, please call either myself or Kay. And after the weigh-in starts at 2, of course, my phone will be off when I'm on stage. That call will need to go to Kay. If you are coming by water or using an alternate, as always, you'll get your text on Thursday night at 7 with your boat number and flight number and due in time. If you are going to come by water, make sure that you text my number, 256-309-9852, not a reply to the message media text. Make sure that you text my number. If you are coming by water, it just needs to say boat number and water. I'm coming by water. If you're using an alternate, please state your alternate's name and which partner he is fishing for. Again, those need to go to 256-309-9852. And the deadline is Friday at 5 p.m. so that we can get fobs and TV cameras and tracking devices and all that separated and put in the right spots, either if you're coming by water at water check-in or if you're going to use the ramp at boat check, because it's extremely difficult when you say you're doing one and show up to do the other, and cameras and tracking devices and fobs aren't in the places they need to be. So make sure that you give us a little bit of time. That's why we have that Friday deadline. And that says 2/18/22. It should be 6/17/22 on that slide. 5 p.m. Next slide. Again, if you are coming by water, all I need is a boat number. If you're using your alternate, please state your alternate's name and which partner that your alternate is fishing for. And remember, guys, if you've already burned your alternate, you can't use them twice. Any questions, comments, or concerns? As Kay mentioned, you can put them on Facebook here, and we'll try to get to those. If not, email or text message, tomorrow during business hours, and we'll get you answered up as quickly as we can. Just a couple other things I do want to touch on. Some of it is just reiterating what Kay has mentioned earlier. The first one, guys, you got to treat Thursday and Friday. Those are official practice days. Treat those just like tournament day. Okay. From PFDs to information to everything that happens on tournament days or on practice days, official practice days on Thursday and Friday, treat them just like a tournament day. If you would not do it on tournament day, do not do it on practice day. Next, let's talk about fish care. We know that it's going to be miserably hot. Not only is it extremely difficult on you, it is as difficult on the fish. So if you're going to hydrate and take care of your body, you need to do everything that we talked about, or Ms. K talked about earlier, in trying to take care of your fish. We had some folks, we had quite a few fish that were brought to the scales or brought to the bump seek that were already deceased this week in Gunnersville, and it's going to be even hotter at Eufaula. So please use your fish care product in your live wells. I would caution you, a general rule of thumb, if water temperature is 80 degrees, you need to keep your live wells within a 10-degree window, either above or below that number. As a general rule, that's what we would like for you to do. So if the water is 80 and you dump 6 bags of ice in there, and all of a sudden your live well is 60 degrees, that is just as detrimental to your fish as them being too hot. So we had several bags of fish show up this week, and the fish were just cold to the touch. So we had several folks who were shocking them. It's a shock to their system to get too cold. It's a shock to their system to get too hot. So try and keep your live well water as close to the temperature in the water in the lake as possible. Any good way to do that, obviously, is keep your recirc going, let it overflow, and keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Whatever the case may be, you guys have a system that works best based on what you've done in the past when it's hot, whether it's, different boat manufacturers do different things, but do your best. Take care of your fish. Once we get our hands on them and you're bumped, we're going to do our best to take care of them as well. So let's all take a concerted effort this week, because temperatures are going to be extreme, and we need to do what we can to protect our resource and take care of our fish. The last thing I want to touch on again is be aware there are gators in the Marina Basin. Try to stay as far away from the water as possible. Um, and I know it's going to be hot and you're going to be tired, but don't lose focus and fall asleep on some of that stuff, because it could be dangerous when they're there. So let's just make sure that we're vigilant, taking care of not only our fish, but ourselves this week at Eufaula with those gators in the area. And Ms. Kay, unless I left something out, that's all I have on the presentation.
All right, there's a couple things that was brought to mind as you were talking, Scott. I'm gonna go over those really quickly. Things that happened at Gunnersville this weekend that I want to remind everybody. Always, 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 Alabama Bass Trail opens the scales 1 hour prior to official weigh-in time, so that would be 1 p.m. At Lake Eufaula. So you can bring your fish to the bump sink as early as 1 o'clock. If you get there earlier, you're required to stay in your boat and baby your fish there. You can be at the bump sink at 1. We will not bump you any earlier than that, but we will bump you as early as 1 o'clock, so you can come in and have your fish weighed in at 1 p.m. Also, I want to remind everyone to please be off the water at 5 p.m. It says that in your presentation. It said that in your email that you received this morning at 10 o'clock. It is an immediate disqualification if you are found to be on the water after 5 p.m. That does not mean loading your truck at 5 p.m. That means lights out, motor out of the water at 5 p.m. So please don't get caught on the water or pulling out of the boat ramp after 5 p.m. Also, I get this question all the time. We do not have a towboat. I cannot come and get you. I can't send anyone after you. Everyone has their jobs in the afternoon. We do not have towboat. We are not a towboat sponsored event, so we do not have a towboat there. You are able to receive help from someone that's in the tournament. If they've already weighed their fish and they would like to come and tow you in, or they would like to help you bring your fish in, you can do that by one of you getting in the boat with someone else, putting your fish in a different live well and bringing them in that way. Please let Scott or I know that. Or you can get assistance from an official towboat source, whether that be Sea Tow, Boat US, whatever that may be. I don't have access to that. So I had 3 or 4 people call this weekend asking me to send towboat to them. I cannot do that. I can't lend you any help in the tournament. So please, if you do not have that service, check the phone number online, store it in your phone. I cannot give you assistance. As much as I would like to, as much as I would hate for you to tell me you have 20 pounds in your live well, but you can't get back, I cannot help 225 teams, so therefore I cannot help one team. That is on you. It must be a service that is available to everyone, or it must be someone who is competing in the tournament. It can't be a buddy of yours that you know lives on the lake. He must be competing in Saturday's event. Those are the 3 things that came up as you were talking that I remembered having from this Saturday. So those are all the things that I have. I do want to extend a huge thank you to all 225 teams fishing the Alabama Bass Trail South Division. Thank you for your patience and your cooperation this year. Thank you for your loyalty to the Alabama Bass Trail. Scott and I appreciate your willingness to work with us and helping us put on the Alabama Bass Trail Tournament Series. It's been a lot of fun this year, despite a lot of opportunities. We'll say opportunities. Thank you for tuning in to these presentations, making sure that you're not breaking any rules, making sure that you know the who, what, whens, and why of our tournament. We hope that you'll be fishing with us in 2023. We look forward to opening registration on August 1st for the 2023 season. Again, thank you for your loyalty to the Alabama Bass Trail. We certainly appreciate it. We hope that you have a good rest of the evening with your family, and we will see you at Lake Eufaula later on this week. Have a blessed night.